Hello and welcome back again, Coffee Beans. This is Agricultural Structures and Building Constructions. Definition of terms. TUV, and Z. Tangential. Coincident with or generally parallel to a tangent at the circumference of a tree or log. Or growth rings. A tangential section is a longitudinal section through a tree perpendicular to a radius. Telescopic cardons. Cardons in which the cover is separated and fits snugly over the bottom part. Temperature is the thermal state of a body considered with reference to its ability to communicate heat to other bodies. Temperature stratification, air zones of different temperatures located from floor to ceiling, caused by non-uniform mixing of air. Temporary fasteners include screws, nuts and bolts. There are externally threaded to allow fastening in which the part to be assembled together can easily be dismantled without any damage. Temporary greenhouse, a structure used for short-term production, overwintering or hardening of plants. Test building, structure in which the test is conducted. Tether stall, an area in which livestock movement is restricted by attaching a chain or harness about its neck or girth to a floor anchor. Thermal radiation transmittance, the ratio of the heat that is radiated through a glazing material to the thermal radiation incident upon the inside surface. Thermophilic bacteria, bacteria which are found in a temperature range of 40 to 70 degrees Celsius. They are most active in a temperature range of 49 to 60 degrees Celsius. Thermophilic digestion, anaerobic digestion in the temperature range of 45 to 60 degrees Celsius. Thermal radiation transmittance, the ratio of the heat that is radiated through a glazing material to the thermal radiation incident upon the inside surface. Thermal resistance, the insulating ability of a material or the resistance of the material to the flow of heat. Throat height, maximum height of the livestock side of a feed bunk or manger. The actual dimension depends on livestock size as it feeds comfortably. Tie stall, stall for restraining an animal with neck chains attached to a low pipe or horizontal rail arches, used primarily with dairy cows. Tight eave bins, bins in which free passage of air between the sidewall and the roof is restricted. Tilt door ventilation, wall ventilation inlet or outlet which opens inward at the top. Timber, refers to freshly cut trees. Raw logs, and large sizes of sawn logs usually more than 4 inches thick. Towboard, a barrier erected along the exposed edges of a landing platform or catwalk to prevent falls of materials or tools that would present a hazard to persons below. Toilet displacement device, object placed in a toilet tank to reduce the amount of water used per flush. Tooth profile, the line of intersection of a tooth flank with any defined surface cutting and reference surface. Tooth trace, the line of intersection of a flank with the reference surface. Totally slotted floor, floor having openings for waste passage over entire area inhabited by livestock. Tracheids, elongated cells that make up the greater part of the wood of softwoods, frequently referred to as fibers. Training rails, may be placed across the top rail of the free stall partition to keep the cows from standing too far forward in the stall. Tread, the walking surface of the stair. Trench silo, horizontal silo located mostly below ground, typically with one end or one sidewall embedded into a hillside. Trickling filter, a biological treatment unit consisting of an artificial bed of coarse material, such as broken stone, clinkers, slate, slates brush, or plastic materials, over which wastewater is distributed or applied and through which it trickles to the underdrains, giving opportunity for the formation of biological slimes which oxidize organic matter in wastewater. Tromp wall, concrete, brick, or adobe wall on the south side of passively heated solar structures. Solar energy heats the wall during the day and heat is released to the structure at night. Trough, device holding feed from which livestock eats. Flighting assembly housing which is open at the top and essentially U-shaped in cross-section. Truss, structural framework used to support the roof. Structural supporting framework. Truss anchors, end attaching point for truss. Truss rafter, single sloped or symmetrically sloped gable rafter with integral designed open bracing support system. Truss rod or cable, the between truss anchors and truss support. Truss support, stand-off brace for truss. Tube, flighting assembly housing which is essentially round in cross-section. Turbine aerator, a submerged axial flow pump in which the manure discharge is directed toward the surface where it breaks the surface and results in air movement. Type UF, underground feeder cable permitted for use underground including direct burial in the earth, commonly used in surface mount installation in moist corrosive environments such as livestock housing. U factor, measure of heat flow through a building structure in SI units. Watts per square meter times Kelvin. Underfloor ventilation, ventilation system designed to vent the air between slotted floor and waste and underfloor storage. Part or all of the building's ventilation may be accomplished by the system. Underground outlet, a means of removing water from a terrace, consisting of an inlet riser and underground pipe that discharges water through or under the embankment. Underground storage tank, A tank located all or partially underground that is designed to hold gasoline or other petroleum products or chemical solutions. Under-reinforced design is a design in which the steel reinforcement is lesser than what is required for a balanced design. It causes the steel bars to reach its limiting stress first while the concrete remains understressed. Once ultimate load is reached, large cracks become visible in the tensile zone of concrete and will give warning to the occupants to decrease the load. Uniformly distributed load is a load of uniform magnitude for each unit of length that extends over a portion or the entire length of a member. Unison flashing. 2 or more lamps that flash on and off simultaneously. Unspliced column. A mechanically laminated column in which each layer is comprised of a single piece of dimension lumber. V. Bottom. An open or covered rectangular tank with a V-shaped bottom. Vacuum filter. A horizontal mounted, rotating perforated cylinder with a cloth fiber cover that uses vacuum to draw liquids out of manure. V. Bottom. An open or covered rectangular tank with a V-shaped bottom. Ventilation. The process of exchanging air inside the greenhouse with outside air to control temperature, humidity and carbon dioxide levels. Ventilation rate. The volume of air exchanged per unit time per unit floor area. Vertical. Foundation designed for post-frame resistance to upward or downward loads such as wind, snow, and building mass that tend to cause vertical displacement. Vertical entry and exit platform. An elevated horizontal surface area specifically designed to allow access, egress through a hinged door. Vertically laminated assembly. An assembly primarily designed to resist bending loads applied parallel to the plane's contact between individual layers. Vertical shear is the tendency for one part of a beam to move vertically with respect to an adjacent part. Vessels. Wood cells and hardwoods of comparatively large diameter that have open ends and are set one above the other so as to form continuous tubes. The opening of the vessels on the surface of a piece of wood are usually referred to as pores. Volatile solids. The portion of the total solids driven off is volatile gases at a specified temperature and time. Walkthrough. Type of stalls that allow the animals to proceed directly forward after milking is completed. Wall is a vertical element used primarily to enclose or separate spaces. Wall plank. Fixed walkway or catwalk over open space. Stored product or easily damaged materials. Wane. Presence of bark or the lack of wood from any cause on edge or corner of a piece. Warehouse. Building used for storing paddy or rice, either in bulk or bag form. Warm barn. A well-insulated livestock housing unit. Supplemental heat may be added and indoor temperature is kept above freezing. Warp. Any variation from a true or plane surface. Warp includes cup, bow, crook, twist and diamonding, or any combination thereof. Waste storage structure. A structure constructed for the purpose of storing waste products. Waste treatment lagoon. An impoundment for liquid and solid organic wastes designed to accomplish some degree of biochemical treatment of the wastes. Wastewater. Water is reduced quality that has been used for some purpose and discarded. Wastewater treatment plant. A facility containing a series of tanks, screens, filters, and other processes by which pollutants are removed from water. Wasteway. Channel for conveying or discharging excess water from a canal to a river. Water bowl. Bowl-shaped drinking device for livestock. Waterer. Device to automatically provide water to livestock. Web. Internal structural component or member between flanges or cords. That is, in a beam or truss. Wind load. Pressure or suction on structure surface caused by wind flow. Winch. Drum-type lifting device to achieve desired angle of elevation. Winch cable. Wire rope used for raising and lowering the auger. Wind loads. Occur when structures block the flow of wind, converting the wind's kinetic energy into potential energy of pressure. Withdrawal type connection refers to a nail connection in which the load is applied parallel to the length of the nail and the load attempts to pull the nail out of the holding member. It is weaker and less desirable than connections subjected to lateral load. Wood is one of the most common construction materials. Working chute. Passage for controlling livestock traffic during sorting, weighing and treatment. Narrow enough to prevent bunching and turning. Work plane. The plane at which work is done, and on which the luminance is specified and measured. Zone cooling. Localized cooling within a larger room by ducts transporting cool air. Zone heating. Localized heating of a small area within a larger room. Zone ventilation. Controlled ventilation of a particular part of a space, for example. Zone cooling around a sow or snout cooling of a sow. Hope it helps. Thank you again for listening. Please like, subscribe and comment your suggestion on topics you want to hear. Links of previous topics are stated in the description box below. See you in the next part. Bye. Rar.